and 8 wins, 24 years old for Richard Torres Jr. His opponent is 18 and 8. So again, Chris, kind of the same thing, right? We're expecting a KO here.
Yeah. Richard Torres, I like this kid. I mean, obviously he's not a huge heavyweight, more of a compact heavyweight, but hey, this is the era where, obviously you use other tangibles to leverage that. We've seen a guy like Usyk, smaller guy, but look what he's doing to these big heavyweights. So, that's something, that's a motivation he could take. But I like this kid, good kid, funny. I've seen him on social media. He's always entertaining. So he's good for boxing. Keep winning, keep making statements.
He's listed at 6'2", about 230, 235, about Usyk size, you can say. Crazy enough. That's kind of small in today's heavyweight division, but yeah, a lot of talent there. As I said, Chris, expect a lot of KOs, man. Expect a lot of KOs, and look, we can go straight into the undisputed bout, Chris, because this a lot of people I know mentioned that maybe it should have been the main event. Obviously, as YOKA said, it's Oscar Valdez's home. He's the guy there. He's the cash cow, so no surprise that was the main event. Oscar Valdez, Leon Wilson. But hey, look, they're fighting for all the marbles here. Yokasta Valle, 30-2, 9 knockouts. She's listed as at 5'4". Chris, I saw her in person. She looked a lot shorter than that. I was surprised. And then she's 31 years old, and she's coming into this fight off a series of victories. She hasn't taken a loss in a while, as you guys can see there. All the green on the right side. She had 2 losses in a row, 2017 and then 2018. And she mentioned these. She thought that she got robbed. 1 in Japan, 1 in Germany. And those are her 2 lone losses there. Yokasta Valle. And on the other hand, SENIESA Estrada, 25-0, 9 knockouts, also 31 years old. She's listed at 5'2", and undefeated, Chris, undefeated. She's the favorite. We'll show you guys the poll. But, I think most people will consider her the favorite. She has 2 belts. Yokasta has 2. SENIESA's last fight was last summer, July. And then she got a unanimous decision there. She probably has the better wins. Marilena Espada's name there stands out. But I think all that's going to go out the window, Chris, on fight night. We know Coach G's going to have a good plan ready. And we've heard the back and forth, Chris. I don't know if you've been following the story. ESPN has been, putting a lot of videos out there. A lot of interviews. They're really hyping up this fight, and it should be a good one. Undisputed.
Yeah, let me start by saying that I feel like this one should have been the main event. I completely agree. I think it's been getting the most kind of buzz. I've heard a little bit about Valdez Belliam, but I think this one is driving the narrative of, excitement. Obviously, both champions, both with 2 belts, both with true animosity. We've seen it in the previews and in the interviews. They really don't like each other. Again, there's this whole back and forth between former promoters, trainers not training one fighter, going the other way. So there's true animosity. When you look at them, when you see their box rec, when you see their accolades, they really are the best 1-2 out there. I know we have a little bit of a bias, but I try to see this. I try to see this as impartially as I can. I do agree that SENIESA is the favorite right now. She does have, like you said, more experience with high-level fighters. But I think SENIESA also has some intangibles that kind of even out, the arena. She is busier than SENIESA the last couple of years. I've never seen SENIESA train, but I've seen YOKA train, and it's very impressive. So again, I feel like there's intangibles there on both sides, where it's going to be more even than what the polls have shown. But again, we won't know until fight night. So I'm excited, Gio. I'm anxious. I can't wait to see this fight. Again, I feel like it's going to be less of a boxing match, and it's going to break out into a fight.
Yeah, and we'll show you guys the poll in a second, but let's go to some comments real quick. Shout out to our guy Jess checking in, Big Bro checking in. Derek checking in on the East Coast, man. Almost midnight over there. Salute to you. Jess says, let's go Estrada. Big Bro says, would like to see Yokasta win, especially with Seniesa taking it personal. I know Seniesa mentioned that, she's been wanting all the titles for a while now. She's been having Yoka, in her radar. And she also mentioned Coach G, who she says they've known each other for a long time. And in her eyes, it's kind of like, oh, she picked her side. She picked the side and now she's the enemy type thing. So, yeah, she's taking personal shots. Yokasta has stated over and over again, this is nothing personal. It's all business. I want the belt. She wants the belt. She's praised Seniesa. And, I agree with Big Bro. Seniesa getting a little, disrespectful at times, a little immature. Chris, I didn't even know she didn't speak Spanish. Like in all the interviews, I haven't heard one Spanish word come from her mouth. But yeah, like you said, I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm hoping Yoka wins. I know it's gonna be difficult, but we'll see. We'll see. Seniesa obviously an explosive fighter, quick. She has good experience. She's fought the better opponent, so it's gonna be a tough fight. But I kind of gave my prediction. I'm gonna go with Yoka decision, even though it's gonna be tough. Keep in mind she's fighting on a top ranked card. She is a Golden Boy fighter, so it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, again, it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for Yoka Valle. We know how talented Seniesa is. She is there to be hit, but she also hits a lot. She has good technical skills. Maybe one of the most technical fighters out there in women's boxing right now. And you're right, Gio. I think even if we didn't know Yoka, let's say we came in just meeting these two girls, these two fighters. It's very easy to root for Yoka based on the humbleness. It's very easy to be turned off by Seniesa. Just the brashness. Just a little bit disrespectful there. So I know there's a lot of unless you've gone for Seniesa from the get go. I feel like there's a lot of people pulling for Yoka Valle, and it almost feels like it's people are like 60-40 favoring. I want to say Seniesa just because she's undefeated. She's never lost, never tasted defeat, always found a way to win. And most importantly, I think she has really strong willpower. You can see it. You can see it in the interview. You can see it in her eyes. She just, she got a little bit of that mama mentality where she just her will cannot be, it cannot be turned. So I think that's why a lot of people are favoring her in a sense, aside from the skill set. But again, I think Yoka Valle has the better corner. She has the momentum. She has increased her stamina and her output, and she's learned from her mistakes. So I think it's a very, very close fight. Hopefully, we get that on fight night. But man, it goes a distance. It goes a distance.
That's not a hot take, Chris. That's not a hot take.
I'm gonna say.
Give us the hot take.
I'm gonna say split decision, Yoka Valle. I think she makes the adjustments in that corner. I think one judge will see it Seniesa's way, and two will see it Yoka Valle's way. So I'm gonna say Yoka Valle split decision.
All right, we're both going for Yoka. Look, the vast majority of the YouTube audience going with Seniesa, as you said. Of course, she's more popular. She's from LA. She's undefeated. She's the Mexican American. Out of 341 votes, 73% are voting for Estrada. Only 27% for Yoka. And we can go to some of the comments here. I'm Mexican. I'm going for Valle. Seniesa isn't as hood as she thinks she is. One person says, I know Valle is sexier, but they're both cuties. Nothing to do with the fight, but they're making their voices be known, Chris. So there you have it. That's the poll. We're both predicting Valle close fight, but look, 73% vast majority for Seniesa Estrada. Not surprised, but I think Valle. I think she's gonna need a volume punching, smart, accurate punching. Hopefully, they can put together a good game plan. The only thing that worries me for Seniesa Estrada is, man, one of her recent fights, she got a KO in 7 seconds, Chris. That does nothing for you. That does not prepare you for a fighter like Yokasta Valle. So Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me. I think Yokasa, as of recent, has had a little bit of tougher fights, but yeah, we'll see, man. It's gonna be a good fight, undisputed.
We'll get to the main event right now, but again, this is for all the belts, all the marbles at minimum weight, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a great fight. And like you said, Joe, you went over there to their open workout. Obviously, I know that they were working hard and you were getting a little B-roll, but I know you must have chatted her up without giving too much away, Gio, without giving the X's and O's. Like, what was her mindset? Did she tell you anything? Was there anything that she's preparing for in SENIESA Estrada?
Look, coach and Yoka seemed ready. They were in a good positive mood. They were relaxed, and that's why I feel like they're gonna give a good fight. I feel like you see it in fighters when they're a little scared, when when sometimes you think, oh man, the bright lights might get to them. Yokasa has been fighting in stadiums in Costa Rica. Chris, she's a star. Just the way she speaks to the media, the way she treats people, you don't always see that, and you see the contrast there with SENIESA. She seems a little bratty, a little kind of entitled, a little disrespectful, and Yoka is the complete opposite. So she seemed very relaxed, smiling, joking with the media. Same with Coach G. They know this is a big moment, and I think they're going in there with the attitude of win or lose. We're gonna give it our best, and I think that's what gives me confidence that they're gonna go in there with no pressure. All pressure is on SENIESA. She's the one who's been talking. She's fighting on her network, her promotional company. She's considered the champion. So the pressure is on her. It's not on Yoka and Coach G.
Yeah. And let me just say, Gio, I've met SENIESA. I've interviewed her. When she used to do commentary with the Latin Snake, her and him would always give us interviews, and dude, she was a sweet girl. So I was a little surprised that she was coming up like this high energy, very disrespectful in a sense. But I mean, again, it is personal. Again, there's things that go in, and behind the lights, a trainer that you wanted to train you not go your way. Yeah, it's gonna feel some type of way. So I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of anger, and this could play into Yoka Valles' game plan. So again, we'll see how SENIESA handles those emotions. Again, it's normal to get emotional. We've seen it with other fighters, and we've seen how that comes back and bites them. But we'll see if that plays into Yoka's favor, or if SENIESA is able to control those and stick to the game plan.
And look, from what I've noticed, like obviously some comments can get under your skin. From what I've noticed, they haven't bothered Yoka or Coach at all. I haven't heard Coach say one word about SENIESA. Obviously, as we said, she's known her for a long time. I remember a couple years ago, she was mentioning, hey, that fight's eventually going to happen, and it's going to be tough because I know SENIESA, but, eventually they're going to clash. So she kind of knew it all along. And as far as I know, I haven't heard her say a word about SENIESA or her team. They're just kind of going in there as all business. And same with Yoka. She doesn't, when I was there, the whole 2 hour and a half, 2 hours, she didn't really say much about SENIESA. So they're worried about themselves. So, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight, man. Don't miss it. Friday, ESPN Plus, March 29th.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Joe. Yeah, I remember years back, they're like, hey, that's a fight that's going to happen. I don't know if we should do that. It's kind of coming. It's coming back now.
Yeah.
I remember years back, I was like, hey, coach, either way, you guys are going to get paid. She gets paid. You get paid. That's what the sport's about, right? So, I think that kind of like, she made it like, okay, yeah, of course. But yeah, no, that was who she was talking about. Man, again, it's the biggest fight of, I think, both of their careers to date. So again, the winner of this one, the doors will open for even bigger fights. So, and bigger pay. So, hey, again, all love to both of these women. Like you said, Gio, we normally don't get excited about women's fights as much, but this one warrants that.
And let me go a step further and add this, and I hope Coach G doesn't mind me saying this, but I even remember in like podcasts or interviews with Yoka with herself, she would even ask us like, please don't ask me about SENIESA. and she always used to say, because I know her, you know, I don't want anything to come off as disrespectful. I know eventually they're probably gonna fight, so she would tell. I know she told me a few times, like straight up, like, can you just not ask me about that? Because she kind of knew what was gonna happen eventually, where both of them were gonna be the top two, and they're gonna have to fight. So, but yeah, hey, it happens. It creates an interesting storyline, you know, and we saw when YOKA went onto the ring after the SENIESA fight, and SENIESA was calling her and Coach G out, and as I said, they've kept it respectful on the YOKA team. We'll see how it goes, you know, inside the ring and then after the fight too. But yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. Let the best woman win.
Yeah, and just to finish this off, Joe, before we move on, the last great women's fight that I saw and that many people saw was Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. So man, I'm hoping we get something similar to that. If we get something close to that, something as competitive as back and forth, you know, both taking shots, both dishing out. I mean, again, it's a great atmosphere there in Arizona. Nothing but Hispanic crowds. So you know a fight is gonna break out with all these emotions. You know, the roar of the crowd, back and forth. I can see a great fight breaking out.
Like in the ring or in the crowd, Chris?
Hey, you never know. You've seen a couple fights in the crowd down there in Arizona, so you never know.